Once upon a time in the ancient kingdom of Israel, there lived a young man named Solomon. He was the son of the great King David and Bathsheba. When David passed away, Solomon ascended to the throne. But Solomon wasn't an ordinary king. He was chosen by God to lead his people. Early in his reign, Solomon went to Gibeon to offer sacrifices to the Lord. That night, something extraordinary happened. God appeared to Solomon in a dream and said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." Solomon, with humility, replied, "I am young and inexperienced. Please give me wisdom to govern your people and discern right from wrong." God was pleased with Solomon's request. Instead of asking for riches or a long life, Solomon had chosen wisdom. So God said, "I will give you wisdom unlike anyone before or after you. And because you asked selflessly, I will also bless you with riches and honor." Solomon's wisdom became legendary. One of the most famous examples of his wisdom happened when two women came to him with a baby. Both claimed to be the child's mother. How could Solomon know the truth? Solomon called for a sword and said, "Cut the baby in two and give half to each woman." One of the women cried out, "No, my lord. Give her the baby, but don't harm him." The other woman remained silent. Solomon then declared, "The one who pleaded for the child's life is the true mother." The people of Israel marveled at Solomon's ability to discern the truth and knew that God's wisdom was in him. As Solomon's reign continued, he built the magnificent temple of the Lord in Jerusalem. This was a task his father David had dreamed of, but Solomon made it a reality. The temple was adorned with gold, cedar wood, and precious stones. It became a symbol of God's presence among his people. When the temple was completed, Solomon stood before the altar and prayed a heartfelt prayer. He asked God to bless the temple and to hear the prayers of anyone who came to it, whether they were Israelites or foreigners. Under Solomon's reign, Israel experienced unparalleled peace and prosperity. Kings and queens from distant lands came to see his wisdom and wealth. Among them was the Queen of Sheba, who brought gifts of gold, spices, and precious stones. She tested Solomon with hard questions, and he answered them all with ease. She was astonished by his wisdom and praised the God of Israel. But despite his great wisdom, Solomon wasn't perfect. As he grew older, he made mistakes. He married many foreign women who worshiped other gods, and over time, Solomon's heart turned away from the Lord. This saddened God, and he warned Solomon that his disobedience would have consequences for Israel after his death. Even so, the legacy of Solomon's wisdom and the splendor of his reign were remembered throughout history. His story reminds us that while human beings are flawed, God's wisdom is perfect and eternal. King Solomon's life is a profound story of wisdom, wealth, and the importance of staying faithful to God. His legacy teaches us that true wisdom begins with humility and a heart that seeks God.